Lights, camera, action. Wait a second. This isn't a movies podcast. Sqadnado. Press start to play.
I actually have a keyboard, so I can't press start. I can't hit enter, maybe.
I think it's usually escape, actually. It would be pause or bring up your menu, but yeah, we'll go with that.
Who said to start? Oh, we're pausing. Everything's being mixed across.
It's usually the same button on console. It is I, Squat Cobbler, and I am joined by my co-host.
What's up? It's Team Sqadnado.
Ayo, and we're going to be talking about a slightly different type of topic than usual today, but still gaming related by extension, Sqadnado. I'm very much looking forward to discussing this, given recent events, recent releases, recent long time awaited memery. Do you remember, Sqadnado, when we witnessed the birth of a meme on your channel?
Yes, I do remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. Are you talking about how we are impressed with Zimres?
Sqadnado, that wasn't on your channel. That was here on the Scrollies podcast. Trademark pending.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I don't. What's going on?
Sqadnado, you're telling me that you forget this meme?
But today, I also wanted to reveal our key cast members who will be voicing Mario and his friends in the movie.
Charles Martinet.
First,
What?
of course, is Mario, who will be played
Chris
by
Pratt?
He's so cool. Mario will be talking a lot in the movie. Please
So
look
he
forward
goes-
to Mario
he
as
goes
performed
from-
by the very talented Chris Sun.
What?
Next,
Anya
Princess Peach will
Taylor
be played
Joy?
by Anya
It's not
Taylor-Joy.
right. Anya Taylor Joy,
I
look.
can't wait to see a very spirited Princess
What
Peach.
the f is going on?
Luigi will be played by Charlie Day. I'm excited for you to see this timid sibling appear on screen.
What? What in the world?
Bowser will be played by the one and only Jack Black. I'm expecting.
What
a
is
monster
going
performance by
on?
Jack's son. The comedian
Okay.
Keegan-Michael
I like
Key will be
Keegan-Michael
playing
Key.
Toad.
That's pretty good.
I'm looking forward to great comedic moments.
Ah, Chris
Even though
Pratt.
this is a Mario movie, Donkey Kong.
That's the way
Will be
Donkey
played
Kong
by
laughs
Seth
now.
Rogen.
Squat.
I'm eager for you to see a humorous
I
Donkey
mean,
Kong
if they
by Seth
really
Son.
did that. I pulled off the road for this.
And of course, Charles Martinet, who has voiced Mario and many more Nintendo characters in our games
As?
over the years, is also involved and will be appearing in surprise cameos in the movie.
It's kind of shady. Kind of weird.
We also have more incredible
Damn
talent
it!
joining the film to play some of our other beloved
Fred
characters.
Armisen is cranky? What is
That's what I
happening?
can share with you today about the Mario movie. This is a very collaborative project.
Hey guys, it's
between
me, I'm
Illumination
Mario.
And Nintendo, involving coming up with
Yeah, I do remember that.
The death of the meme. The meme is now a reality. It's not even a dream. It's just real.
He's so cool. He really is cool, if you think about it.
Yeah, he's so cool. Chris Pratt, just so cool.
Here's the thing. I thought we were talking about Street Fighter the movie. Honestly, 1994. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I believe it was.
Oh, no, we're talking about Doom starring The Rock.
Oh no, you have to be talking about The Gamer, starring Russell Crowe.
No, Sqadnado, we're clearly talking about Wreck-It Ralph.
we can go back and forth. Man, there have been so many good ones, and every single one of them was perfect and great, and everyone loved them. Critics loved them. Audiences loved them, and we're kind of regressing, I suppose. Would you say?
In a sense, it's no longer the experimental phase. We're now in the pure fan service and referential era. But I guess we'll get into that in a moment. Before we do, Sqadnado, what you been playing?
Oh gosh, this is a really good question. Actually, yeah, I've been into Risk of Rain. I've played exactly 1.5 hours of it, and I'm amazing at it, and I've already beat the game once, and we're going to go through it a bunch more times. I don't know if you've ever played that. It is a roguelike, so shout out to the audio. He sent me down this path, and it only took a year and a few weeks to get me here.
Audio, you must be so proud. We had that whole episode where neither of us have played a roguelite, and now Sqadnado has at least played one. How does that make you feel? Audio? I mean, he looks pretty happy, but he's not saying anything. He's just smiling.
I think he's kind of doing his own roguelike run of not talking, I guess, right, Audio?
He's shaking his head now. Audio, what's the matter? Oh, he's holding up Binding of Isaac. Audio, eventually, we promise.
Yeah, Risk of Rain 2 specifically. I played that a few days ago with Ultrajonic and Crisati, aka Vivian. And I was on his stream, so shout out twitch.tv/Ultrajonic, our friend. And it was pretty good. I really liked it. I was kind of tired from staring at a screen all day, so I played it the one time, and that was it. But yeah, it was great.
Very nice, very nice. I have heard of this game. I've been recommended to try it out by one Cinnamon Toast and Lord Triborian, shout out. I have not yet taken the time to delve in, because I don't think it's crossplay. I think you have to have it on the same platform as everyone else, and I believe they play it on PlayStation, which at the time I didn't have, but now I have that PS5 guy's former PS4.
Now you're a PS4 guy.
Now I don't know if I am, but I own it. It sat mostly unused in the last year, but
That was the deal. That was part of it.
I inherited the title too.
Yeah. You don't have to use it, but you do have.
Do I have to rebrand now?
No. You just, but it is one of your titles.
It's one of my subtitles, I guess. Squat Cobbler : that PS4 guy.
Risk of Rain 2 does seem like a very Cinnamon game. I don't know what that means, but it is. It is.
Well, is it The Last of Us? Because that seems like a pretty Cinnamon game.
That's a Cinnamon game too. I'm thinking because the first time I really watched a lot of Cinnamon was during his Returnal playthrough, and Risk of Rain is very similar, but much more like indie. It's indie Returnal. So
fair enough. Well, that sounds like a good time with the Choo Choo Gang. Choo Choo Gang expanding to other games now.
Yeah, what about you, Squad Cobbler? What have you been up to?
How about myself? Well, I'll tell you what, I've been playing quite a bit on stream lately. Just finished up Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Moving on to Crash Bandicoot 1 next week from the Insane Trilogy. And otherwise, just continuing on with Hyper Metroid, and Mario & Rabbids is supposed to finish this month. So we'll see about that. But outside of streaming, I took the advice of one Frockion Lotor and Shredface shout out to try more than 2 NES games. So Ninja Gaiden, I downloaded that, and I played through the first couple levels, so not very far at all, but it's a little difficult. It was sold to me as being not very fun, but a good time, I guess.
You played some Elden Ring, so you're familiar with the format now.
It's Elden Ring with old game jank. Yeah, my favorite. I didn't even realize the levels had a timer, because I almost always ignore the HUD on those like old NES games. Because I mean, usually it's like not very useful information, like maybe the health bar, but like, I mean, you think like Super Mario Brothers, the timer you almost never run it out. But no, I died on the first level to the timer running out. So Ninja Gaiden, it's a little tough.
So did you get like the collection on like Switch or something, or where'd you get it? I guess it's PlayStation as well. And
well, let's just say I was playing it on my Steam Deck, so I acquired it through the means necessary to play it on my Steam Deck.
Yes, of course, understandable.
So many online stores, so many ways to play. I just lose track of all the ways that I legally can acquire games.
I do have a copy of Ninja Gaiden Black, which is the definitive way to play it. So,
ooh,
just saying. At least that's as far as Plaidman. Here's the thing, Plaidman. As long as I've known Plaidman, he's played like 3 games. Ninja Gaiden was one of them.
Sonic's fallen by the wayside.
30 streams of Sonic is I don't know if it's gonna finish.
30 Sonic streams for the 30-year anniversary, which was 2 summers ago now. Speaking of Sonic, Ratnado, do you know that he has a couple movies out now?
That doesn't sound real.
No, Ratnado, not shows, not animated kids content. Well, maybe in some cases they're animated kids content, but video game movies. They're so plentiful now. It feels like there's a new one coming out all the time, and just once finished, you totally forget about it, and the next one's on the horizon. I mean, yeah, they all stick to memory.
They are very memorable. We meme on them. We still remember a lot of them, but like you're saying,
the memes truly do live on.
I mean, hey, talking about the Sonic movies, that was, I think, my last in-theater experience for quite a while. Was watching Sonic in December of 2019. It was at forefront for me for a while, for about a year probably, until I saw the Demon Slayer movie in like March of 21.
Oh man, Sonic the Hedgehog was one of the last ones I saw in theaters that year, 2020. We all remember. But I actually think the last in theater experience I had was The Invisible Man. I thought it was Sonic for a long time, but then I went back and checked. I'm like, oh, actually, this was after.
Because it was invisible. You couldn't see it.
I had my eyes closed the whole time. I just really wanted to experience it as intended. So the whole movie was invisible to me. Ratnado, these video game movies, you know, I don't think they have the best track record as a whole. It's definitely been a up and down, inconsistent journey to get to where we are today. From the point where I guess they started in the 90s, maybe in the 80s.
Gosh, 80s.
But those were the dark ages. You know, we've learned since then. We've learned that the gaming population is a valuable consumer demographic.
Yeah.
That you want to appease to, and not just pander. Maybe a little bit of both, though. Ratnado, do you have a favorite video game movie?
See, this is honestly where it gets very difficult, because a lot of video game movies I do like. I like them, and I very much recognize that they're not good movies, and oftentimes I recognize they're not even a good representation of the video game, but I still really like them. So to say my favorite is to like say, what is your favorite junk food? It's like, I mean, none of them are really probably good for me, and they're probably not like my favorite thing in the world. But, you know, when you're just trying to like hang out and take it easy, I'm just going to say it probably is the Street Fighter movie. Just because, as a true boomer, I have so many good memories attached to it, of just like being a kid and being like, whoa, these graphics are really good. They look just like the movie. That's really Jean-Claude Van Damme on my screen. And then seeing the movie and collecting the cards and everything like that. And so that was 94.
Well, fair enough. I feel like the majority of video game movies are very much taking that route where it goes from, I guess, like sprites and polygons to live action, and you have to obviously adapt it to make that work. And then occasionally back to sprites and polygons. Street Fighter the movie. Have you played Street Fighter the movie, the game?
Yes, I have, actually. I rented it. I remember renting it a bunch of times. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's always fun when we talked a little bit about that in our movie games episode, but when movie gets made based on a game, and then that movie is then made back into a game, it's like a translation of a translation into its original state.
But for maybe something more contemporary, I really liked Assassin's Creed, actually. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I did see the Assassin's Creed 2016 movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. I only played one Assassin's Creed game at the time, and still to this day, which is Assassin's Creed 3, that has basically nothing to do with the movie, so.
Yeah. What did you think of Assassin's Creed? Because I also recognize... See, I thought it was unfairly, like, everyone's like, it was so terrible. I'm like, it's fine.
From what I remember, I was kind of bored during it, all things considered. I mean, much like the games, there was too much modern day stuff and not enough historical action bits. That's kind of the same problem that I've had with the game that I played. I hear the later ones are a little less heavy on that aspect of them, but yeah, that's I had some friends at the time that were very much into Assassin's Creed, and they kind of explained to me like where it fit into the timeline, and how there was this thing with them having to cut off the fingers because that was something the assassins did up until Ezio, and that there was all these Easter eggs from the later games in the vault. So yeah, definitely was very much made for the fans, I guess, in a way, but perhaps a little too much. There's another video game movie that I'm thinking of as well that kind of falls into that boat. That movie that I'm thinking of being Warcraft, Ratnado.
Okay, yeah.
Naturally, as we all know, we're both StarCraft fans. However, I have never played anything in the Warcraft series. Warcraft 1, 2, 3, World of Warcraft, none of it. So I walked into that movie with no knowledge, and I feel like I needed knowledge to actually understand what was going on in the movie.
But you liked it or not?
I mean, it was fine. Like, it was whatever. Like, it was eye candy. I thought like the effects were kind of pretty. I remember the trailer looking pretty bad as far as like the orcs and all the magic went, but they really fixed it up in time for the actual release, where I thought it looked pretty good. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was like a big fan of it or anything. Just kind of like, oh, okay, this is a Movie Pass movie. I don't know if you remember that failed business model, but I'd like to thank all of the terrible investors who paid for me to see dozens and dozens of free movies between 2016 and 2017.
Shout out to them, bad investors.
Saw more than I ever thought I would in that time. I think 74 in a year. I was finally able to, for once, rival our board game guest Ryan for distinct theatrical experiences in 1 year.
Well, yeah, the Warcraft movie, I mean, having played, I played 1 and 2 a little bit, and I played 3 a decent amount. I mean, I wasn't huge Warcraft, and having played World of Warcraft a tiny bit, I really liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. Obviously, there was huge glaring issues with it of just, acting and pacing, and, if like you said, if you don't know what's going on, and they're just like, yes, this place, and we're gonna go there, and you're like, what is that? Is that good? Is that bad? Truly bad. That's not great. But the actual, everything they used to make it is if you just made a better, tighter story, this would have been really cool.
That's fair. That's fair. And no shame to anyone that's solely making a movie. It's not meant to be super accessible to anyone that isn't already familiar with the material. Yeah. Is it the best choice? Maybe not, but I mean, ultimately, you know what your audience is, and if you're squarely aiming for that and people outside of that aren't happy, then hey, I guess you still accomplished your goal. Before we get into the rest of our game movie experiences, I guess my favorite classic decision would probably actually be newer releases, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. I'm actually pretty impressed in a sense because while they are pretty basic kids movies with a lot of kids movies tropes, I feel like they're plenty accessible. You don't have to have played the games to really get what's going on. They change things up from the games, like with the rings being, I guess, these teleportation portals. Jim Carrey's Eggman is just amazing. Working in all the other game characters like Tails and Knuckles in the sequel. I mean, I was pretty satisfied with them both times, and I'm pretty excited for the third one. Spoilies if you haven't seen the end credits of Sonic 2, but the edgy boy Shadow the Hedgehog will be in Sonic 3, so that's pretty hype.
Did you see, obviously we already said spoilers, did you see someone did a mashup with the line from American Psycho by Christian Bale? Somebody did this mashup on Twitter. Yeah. I'll have to find it for you. And it's just this nihilistic, depressing quote with Shadow. I'm like, whoa, that's actually kind of cool. If they did that, that might be kind of fun.
So what you're saying is Christian Bale confirmed as Shadow? Is this a Scrollies exclusive, Sqadnado?
Look, I'm in talks. I can't say much. All I'm going to say is maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well, a solid 50-50 chance, folks, that Christian Bale plays Shadow the Hedgehog.
Keep your eyes out for that fourth Chaos Emerald, is all I'm going to say.
Whoa. All right. I'll keep my eyes out for it.
Yeah, Sonic was really good. Sonic 1 and 2, both really good. I guess I had to think about those because I'm thinking of I guess for mine, Street Fighter is just campy. Whereas now they're actually doing pretty good jobs. The Pokemon movie was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Detective Pikachu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Detective Pikachu. I thought it was pretty good adaptation of it looked a little bit like something Rocket Jump would have made in 2013, but it was still fun. I liked it. It was a competent movie.
Yeah, I remember I didn't see it, but from all the trailers, the Pokemon looked really, really good. With all the scaly and furry textures.
Yeah,
I guess, but not really changing the core designs. They still look like Pokemon and not a horrible abomination, freaks of nature.
They asked you to suspend your disbelief a lot, but it was fine. They did. It still kind of was weird to bring them into the real world and the way they did it, but it was still good. I wasn't oh, these look terrible. I was okay, I see why they did it that way. That works. They translated into a live action world well enough.
I feel like you can be a little more fantastical, Sqadnado, in the animated realm, much like we have one of your favorite games, Sqadnado, Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children.
Yeah,
that was a movie.
That is definitely a movie.
It's very much a movie. Maybe one day we'll have an entire episode dedicated to it, so I guess we'll save some of that conversation for later, but maybe just a brief 2-sentence summary on your thoughts of it.
Okay, so I got a lot of thoughts about that, but first, I think I want to say really quick, I think it was with Ultrajonic and Eevee where we said, oh, we should We should make Squat watch Advent Children and then talk about it. I think that'd be really funny. So-
Hey, keep your eyes peeled, folks, on the feed. You never know what'll be coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we'll have a watch party night. Me, you, Eevee, Ultra, and we're gonna make you watch Advent Children. We're gonna tell you why to go. But Advent Children, I think, it's weird because it is like a weird Square Enix thing where they were like, we're gonna make a movie and we're gonna pretend it's a real movie, but not really. There's like the Final Fantasy 15 movie that like never saw like a theater release or anything like that, but it is very much a movie and it's very important to understand the game to its detriment. But here's what Advent Children is. It is like the aftermath where they're like, well, we've done kind of everything we want to do with Final Fantasy 7. Let's just make something really, really cool. And wouldn't it be cool if Cloud did this? You know, canon and reasoning and logic of this world be... Let's just have Cloud have another sword fight with Sephiroth. Does it make sense? No, not really. Does it kind of destroy everything that's come before it? A little bit, but let's do it because it's cool.
Well, all right. I look forward to seeing the cool action from this spin-off movie of a game I've never played. And then explain it to all of you. That kind of falls in line with the movies made strictly for the fans and no one else, perhaps. Much like, perhaps, the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Whoa, and there we made it.
Yeah, newly released. We finally got around to it, to the very topical release of this motion picture. Yeah, Ratnado, I saw it. I don't think you have yet, so I won't say too much. I guess my thoughts on it, I had a good time, I guess. A lot of nice animation. That said, as a whole, the movie's probably the most mid thing I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh, controversial.
Not great, not terrible. It's just plain old fine.
It is what it is.
Basically, from my stance, and I don't even dislike it. If you liked what you saw in the trailers, which was a bunch of references to the games, you're gonna love the movie because it's just a bunch of references to the games, stringed along by bare bones of the plot.
Yeah.
The voice acting was honestly fine. I didn't really have any issues with anyone. Jack Black, much like we all thought when the trailer dropped, probably carrying it the best with actually putting effort into his role. The rest of the cast just kind of sounded like themselves.
Well, and I don't know if this is spoilers, but I did see a clip where they're doing the voice, like Chris Pratt and Luigi, for like a commercial. I assume it's like one of those moments near the beginning where it's a TV commercial and he's doing the Mario voice, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, major spoilers, everyone, for the first 2 minutes of the movie. I actually walked in a little late, so I missed that first scene, but they did talk about the commercial and how that voice was ridiculous. I'm like, okay, so that's how they explain it. The Mario voice, as we all know and love it, is all just a marketing stunt.
Look, I'm kind of excited, and anything I've heard from anybody who has seen it, there are people who I hear their opinions, and that tells me what it means. This means it's probably like you're saying, it's just dumb fun. Like, some people are like, it was really good. I had such a fun time. I laughed. It was everything I wanted. And I'm like, just a Mario movie. That was it. I guess if you're wanting more, it's fair to say, like, I don't know. I was kind of hoping they would do something pretty, out of the box, or do something to push things forward. They didn't really do that. But I feel like a lot of people right now are just like, I just want to watch something that's kind of silly and fun, and it looks like the video game. It looks like the thing I know. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. It gave people exactly what they wanted for the most part, and hey, nothing wrong with that. If you like the movie, good for you. I liked it fine, so I might even be in that boat a little bit, but not too much substance there. I think we can all agree. There's not a whole lot it's trying to say. It's just giving you Mario as you know Mario, and that's fine. Certainly better than the original Mario Brothers movie. We all remember that.
I do have fond memories of it. I understand it's not a good movie, but I do like the old one. I think it's pretty fun. What is his name? Hoskins and Leguizamo. And Dennis Hopper as Bowser. That was wild. I think I'm going to go see it. I think I'm going to go up north. I'm going to do some stuff where there's an actual theater and watch this movie, as well as John Wick 4 and the D&D movie.
Triple feature. Yeah, that D&D movie I'm actually hearing great things about. Maybe that should be part of our games movie discussion, but... Neither of us have seen it, so maybe there'll be a part 2 eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and from what I've heard, people are like, the thing about that too is, I know this isn't like a movie podcast or anything like that, but from what I've heard about the D&D movie, I've heard like from a lot of people, it's like, they kind of throw in some pretty good nods to D&D. Like if you play D&D, there's a few things that you'll be like, but it's kind of just like Marvel with fantasy Marvel is kind of what I've heard.
Quippy jokes. I don't know much about it, but I have heard the dialogue is very much like, oh, this is like as if a group of friends was playing this game and they're like talking outside the context of the game and like making jokes around the scenarios and things like that. So I'm intrigued. I might check it out. I haven't been seeing a lot of movies lately, but now more are coming out that are of interest to me, so I might make that time. But yeah, Sqadnado, I think, I mean, we can keep going on. We haven't even talked about the Mortal Kombat movie. We haven't talked about
Pixels.
We can even start talking about movies that are about games. Free Guy,
Tetris, right?
Tetris. Ooh, yeah. Hey, that's a movie about the making of a game. That's pretty hype.
I actually do really want to see that.
The trailer looks great. Yeah, it's like the height of the Cold War. The most dramatic thing that was going on was this game for Game Boy. That's the trailer made it seemed like. I do have Apple TV Plus now, so I guess I could watch it whenever I wanted to.
Ooh.
If I ever take a break from Ted Lasso, shout out Main Tater.
Hey, I've heard that's good too. Maybe we'll do we've talked about video game movies. Once we one or both of us see the D&D movie, we'll do the tabletop movies.
Yeah, we've had our video game movies discussion talk. Our analog game movies discussion will be upcoming, so be looking forward to that, everyone.
Yeah, well, maybe even get Ryan back.
Yeah, maybe Ryan can give us some perspective on the movie. All right, Sqadnado, thank you so much for joining me in this discussion. Tell me, where can people check out what you're playing lately, which is not only Final Fantasy XIV, I might add.
There's some Sonic Frontiers that happened. There's some Super Castlevania. Those are on the horizon. Look, I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV at twitch.tv/Team Sqadnado. I am in the last half of Endwalker, which means I've got about 20 more hours of that content and then some post-patch content, which is like another 20 hours. So, if everything goes according to plan at the time of this recording, hopefully by the end of the May or very early in May, I'll be done with 14. And then I will be moving on to clearing out my backlog. Metroid Dread, Squat Cobbler, and Sonic Frontiers. I'll probably play a bit more of that on stream. And then I think we're getting to Yakuza after that. I think there's going to be games I'm going to start playing after that.
Big hype. Yeah, I mean, hey, always happy to pop into a Final Fantasy XIV stream, but other games do exist right now. I don't know if you're aware. No, I'm just kidding.
There's like 500 hours of content in just the main story of Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, I'm going to FanFest, which is like the thing that Square Enix does, and so I've got to finish before then in July. So that's the one reason why I'm like pushing so hard now.
Hey, if you ever want to get your money's worth in MMO, that's what you go to. Hundreds of hours of content, of unique content.
What about you, Squat Cobbler? What's going on?
How about myself? I'm moving through games a bit faster now than I was. Mario plus Rabbids, it's been going since November, but I intend to finish it this month. Maybe upping the upload rate on that Let's Play to 3 times a week, so keep your eyes peeled on the Squat Cobbler YouTube channel Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Other than that, like I said, I'm starting Crash Bandicoot next week from the Insane Trilogy, just the first one. We will see if I continue with the other 2. Other than that, just finishing up Hyper Metroid, looking to move on to some other retro ROM hacks, maybe some more fan games, so that's pretty exciting. And yeah, that's about it with me right now. You can check that out on the Squat Cobbler YouTube channel or twitch.tv/Squat Cobbler. All right. Well, thank you all for joining, and we will catch you in the next one. See ya.
Bye.